Hello everybody and welcome back to Sauron Takes on Donkey Kong Country 100%. I apologize if this video is kind of late. The last time I recorded audio, it didn't work out well. And yeah, we're ready to our first bonus barrel. Not that you won't see this bonus barrel again by any means. Just to let you know, I pause the actual game quite often. I am using a guide to find everything in Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, I even tried to go back to that bonus barrel because I wanted the K instead, but no such luck. Anyway, yeah, I pause the video quite often. I had some spider hunting to do. Big old wolf spider just popped out from behind the TV at one point in time. And, yeah, not a fan of spiders, no offense, but, everyone's like, well, they're good for the environment. And I'm like, I agree. But arachnophobia doesn't care. So, you got that. I don't know how close the microphone actually is to me here. I'm trying to make sure that I don't mess up again here. But, yeah, so my fan is on. If you guys hear it buzzing in the background, I apologize. But, Donkey Kong Country, holy crud. So I've heard that this game is a bit rough to 100% complete, and yeah, I now agree. It's a tad bit rough. I'm going to turn that fan off here. There we go. So yeah, no, the country games are incredibly rough to 100%, and unfortunately I've decided to do that, and it's been an interesting trip. Although getting this Let's Play out has also been a bit of an interesting trip, so there's that. But we take on the second boss, we game over, take on the second boss again, and I get through to the next save point 100% at the very least. So we have that option. But yeah, Donkey Kong. Oh, these tires are a pain. Oh my gosh. So I just completed my handheld Donkey Kong video, and the tires are so much worse than the handhelds. Like, they're already kind of weird to begin with in this particular game. They're just way worse. I still can't believe I ate that hit. That hit kind of stunk too, but no, the tires are so much worse in the handhelds. Like, holy crap. I didn't know the controlling for the tires bouncing up on them was so bad. Like, that killed any enjoyment I was having at all in the Donkey Kong Country remake on the Game Boy Color. Like, that alone made things kind of difficult. The rest of it, like the screen crunch and everything like that, is still bad, but yeah, these tires are horrible. I don't know why I keep doing this. Like, I'm trying to get the tire on that platform and then bounce up, but you don't actually need to do that, I found out. Didn't even try to do it the other way. Eventually I do try it the other way, succeed, and then go back and try it again. I don't know why. My brain works really weird. This is Winky, by the way. He's a frog. And Winky's kind of the lamest animal buddy. Look at that. That wheel just destroyed him entirely. Yeah, he's the lamest animal buddy, though. Winky is not very good. He jumps higher, but he's more awkward to control. So, I don't know. Like, the jumping higher thing's kind of neat. It's not super useful. You can jump on bees. That's more useful. But yeah, Winky's not fun to control at all. So, you know, I turn off that fan and it's like hotter than heck in here, like, immediately. It's crazy. Unfortunately, recording this during a heat wave is not fun at all. Although I overheat even in the coldest weather, so let's be real here. Gotta get them Neckies. It's kind of funny because, like, you haven't really met a lot of the smaller Neckies at this point. And then you're fighting, like, a big one. And it's almost like a precursor to what they're actually going to be. Because then, immediately afterwards... I'm just checking the levels. Immediately afterwards, you get Vulture Culture. Which is nothing but Neckies. It's like, oh man, they want revenge. Great. Those small ones are always annoying, but... They come back in the second game, too. The big ones don't. They're just kind of obstacles, I guess, but... They could have brought back these guys. You know, the worst part watching this, and knowing what I know, I just missed a bonus barrel. And trying to figure out where that bonus barrel is like the worst thing. Because I waste so many lives trying to do that. That last jump I just died on, I hate doing it too. The reason being is because I forget if I'm playing as Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong. Like, I just kind of go for it. And if you're playing as Diddy Kong, you want to skip the last vulture. If you're playing as Donkey Kong, you want to hit both of them. So I keep thinking I got to hit that last vulture to make the jump. And no, I don't. Not with Diddy, anyway. Yeah, you got to skip it. So... Or at least it's safer to do so, anyway. Yeah, that was fair. That was immediately fair. Yes, yes. There is actually a bonus stage there, too. Excuse me. Yeah, so there is actually a bonus stage there. And I know I missed it, so... I'm going to have to go back regardless. But I didn't necessarily die on purpose. I just wasn't paying attention at all. If you notice, I play like utter hell at first here. And I think the reason being is because I just didn't have caffeine. Yep, I'm addicted to caffeine. There I go, missing that one bonus barrel again. If you guys didn't notice where it's at, that's because the game didn't telegraph it very well at all. There's a bonus barrel in one of the mining levels that have a similar issue where it's telegraphed by 3 bananas kind of leading upwards. It's not a very good telegraph, in my opinion. Oh, yep, there I go, playing like utter hell again. Shame on me. So how is everyone doing today? I'm playing this on the Switch in case it wasn't obvious. I got Larry as my little icon there. And yeah, I'm so old school I refuse to use the rewind feature. I refuse to abuse save states. I did the same thing with Diddy Kong Racing as well. I've been recording Diddy Kong Racing, and I do have like a physical copy of it, but I've been recording it off of emulation. And I've learned quite a bit about N64 emulation, especially with the rare games. And I've heard, like, you know, oh, Donkey Kong 64 kind of has a similar issue. But come to find out, all rare games have a very similar issue where sometimes they will have, you know, enemies, objects, whatever, react to frame rates. And if you don't... You know, that kind of sucked. I opened up the door and it just disappeared immediately after I went back over there. What my brain isn't paying attention to is the live counter. I am so used to doing this in like 1 or 2 goes that I forget that I don't have lives. And I didn't go and make them back up. So now I keep dying to get back to bonus stages, and oops, I don't actually have a lot of lives to do that with. So yeah, game overing in this particular stage is not a good idea because I haven't saved. The least I should have done is at least get to the next save barrel or get to Funky where I could, you know, go backwards and save there. That would have been fine. But no, I'm bound determined to, you know, get everything OCD style. Which isn't a good idea, in my opinion. But, you know, hindsight being 2020 and all that. At least this challenge is normal. We're going to get to the orangutan level, where there's like a bunch of the orangutan looking guys. I can't remember what they're called. But that level is horrible for finding bonus barrels, and they have some weird ones too. Like, they got probably one of the best bonus levels in the game, and then got like a bunch of weird ones. There's like 5 in that level. Why? See, now I'm trying to figure out what I missed. And my brain, for whatever reason, is telling me that it's because I didn't actually beat that one bonus area. But I found it, and it counts. It's this one. Right here. Yep. Still not going to find it, because I didn't look up a guide yet. So, when I start looking up a guide, then that's when I start pausing a lot frequently. But if you notice, I went right by it. And you'd think I'd remember, because there was that mining level that, hey, had something similar, where there's 3 bananas. See, I tried to hit that stupid last vulture again. But yeah, there's 3 bananas pointing straight up to the bonus barrel. This isn't the first time that they've done this. This isn't the first time that I've encountered this. But I keep missing it. There's a tire right there. There's the 3 bananas. It's the exact same setup as the original one. And my brain does not register that at all. And I hate watching this back because of it. I was not in it to win it, guys. I apologize. I basically recorded this mostly because I felt a need to do so. And I mean, I had to get some Let's Play thing out there. I literally had just beaten Diddy Kong Racing. Like, that was my focus. And then I'm like, oh, I don't have a video for this week. So, I gotta record something. And I ended up deciding, yeah, what the heck, Donkey Kong, why not? But I probably should have played something else, because, man, oh man, I wasn't in it to win it today. Yeah, right now I'm probably looking up an actual guide at this point, or pulling it up anyway, because you can see I'm kind of stuck here. I'm frozen, not doing a thing. Fantastic. Oh man, sorry for the noise. I'm wondering. There's some water. Needed water. Sure, I start drinking, and that's when things come back. So now I know what I'm supposed to do. And it's probably blatantly obvious in my brain that, hey, that makes sense because they did this before. And it's one thing to, you know, not realize, you know, something tricky like, you know, oh, hey, there's like this weird thing that you've never encountered before. Like, that's kind of weird, you know. I've done it before. That's what irritates me the most. Like, it's blatantly obvious because I've dealt with the 3 banana thing before. And, nope, didn't even register it. Water, good for the soul. You think I'd be able to, like, do up these claptraps easier, too, for whatever reason, man. See, that one I was close, and then, yep, there I go. Got bit! And the sad part is like, it'd been useful to actually have beaten them. But again, like I'm making all sorts of stupid mistakes, and that's the worst part about this is I'm making a lot of mistakes that I should know better on. Because, you know, I play a lot of Donkey Kong Country. I do know, hypothetically, what I'm supposed to be doing. But, yeah, I wasn't in to win it. It's after I game over that I'm like, alright. Game face, let's get serious. Let's actually, like, you know, take this on. Let's do this. But unfortunately, you guys gotta wait for me for that. But we can talk. It's fun. Oh, man. Diddy Kong Racing, by the way. The thing I was talking about earlier with the emulation. The worst part about emulating N64 games, like I said, is that the frame rate doesn't match up very well. And a lot of games, it's no big deal. There we go. We're finally past that stupid level, even though we got to go through it again. But no, N64 Emulation is... Man, I messed this up too, don't I? Yeah, I wasn't in it to win it. Normally I'm way better at timing than that. Ugh. But N64 Emulation, I'm trying to focus here, guys. Apologize. I don't have a script for these, so this is just kind of me ranting, which is great when you have ADHD and it just kind of kicks in and is like, hey, what's up? But N64 Emulation is fun on a certain level because your computer probably runs better than the actual N64 hardware. The N64 hardware is not good. So what happens is that when you run a game, the frame rates are increased. Now, normally that's not too much of an issue, but on the rare games, they actually emulated, or not emulated, but they programmed a lot of their characters and a lot of their situations to run based on the frame rates. So if the frame rates don't match up with what they're supposed to do, things get a little wonky. Usually, the higher the frame rate, the nastier some of these things get, which is ironically a great anti-pirating software. Because it took us a while... Yeah, that was horrible timing. It took us a while to figure out kind of what was going on. A lot of emulators, you can sync to audio, which is kind of what you're supposed to be doing. I just lowered the synchronization a little bit, and it worked a lot better. No, Kitty, I'm sorry. I can't... The cat hears me talking, and she's like, I'm going to go up there and rub up against that microphone. I'm sorry, you're my buddy, but... We gotta chill out for a second. Anyway, yeah, so what happens is that, say, the boss fights on Diddy Kong Racing become... I was robbed on that one, come on now. The boss fights become way harder to deal with. And the reason being is because they get faster as the frame rates get faster. So, like, for example, if you're emulating Diddy Kong Racing, the frame rates will... absolutely be better base wise. So you end up with like higher frame rates and that's great, but then WizPig and all the boss fights are like way faster. And I have a sneaking suspicion that some of like the trophy races are a lot faster too. Because man, I don't remember them being as hard as they were. But I still managed to get through all the boss fights and all the trophy races on the higher frame rates. And what happened is that WizPig was just too much. You would have to play as one of the secret unlockable characters, as well as play perfectly just to beat him. Like it was insane. Like I was playing as Pipsy, and I played a perfect round, and I was not even... That part I was robbed. Come on now. I killed the Kremling. Kremling shouldn't kill me. Let's be real here. But no, WizPig was so fast that even playing perfectly, I could not even remotely get close enough to the speeds necessary. And you guys are probably thinking to yourself, like, you know, there's a rare, it's not rare, I guess you could say, but like there's a technique in Diddy Kong Racing that, if you know about it, makes WizPig a lot easier to deal with. Well, there goes that. This is about the time I smack my face and was like, okay, let's go. But no, there's a trick where, and Raj the elephant kind of tells you this too, is where if you let off the gas right before you hit a booster, you get a higher boost. And that works with both items and the boost pads. So there's that. And if you use that trick, WizPig is more manageable as regular everyday characters. But like, if you're not using that trick, which I didn't know about back in the day, I had to beat that game as Drumstick, the secret highest speed level character, because I couldn't come close, you know. And I still had to like play pretty perfectly at the time. But I did manage to beat WizPig as Drumstick without using the boost trick, so to speak. And so yeah, I managed to do it back in the day, but I don't have the time and patience to do it now. But with the boost trick, you can technically, feasibly beat him with almost any character, as long as you're, you know, playing well enough. And in the emulation, that wasn't the case. Like, he was insanely fast. Like, I just messed up again. Oh well. I played perfectly as Pipsy, and I just could not get the speed necessary to even come close to passing him, much less, you know, actually winning against that race. So, that's fun. But once I lowered the frame rates, and it worked too. Once I lowered the frame rates, I managed to... It took a couple tries still. Like, I wouldn't say he's easy. But, like, once you lower the frames, it becomes way more manageable. And after a couple tries and another perfect run, I managed to beat WizPig. Which is cool, you know. And then, you know, you just play through... Man, I hate that just doesn't work. Those snakes kind of come out of nowhere on you, too. And you can't see them fully until you're, like, already kind of committing. You either commit or you take it so cautiously that you happen to notice them, but I don't know. I don't like the snakes, because if you commit, you take a hit for some reason, even though you're above them. It feels like you shouldn't take a hit, but you do, and I don't like that. Yeah, that's just like strict memorization, or you take it really slow and you get lucky. But anyway, that shouldn't have. That should have actually hit me, and it didn't. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, yeah, WizPig impossible until lowering frames. So that's fun to learn, you know. So the entire like Spaceland I played on the normal frame rate, or the more N64 choppy frame situation, which it worked. I mean, if it works, it works, right? Apologize, guys. I did wake up kind of earlier than I normally would to record this for y'all. Again, my audio, when I saved it, because like I use Audacity, and on Audacity it was fine, but when I saved it, and there we go. That's the work point I was missing. I think I failed this game though, which kind of sucks. I could use the extra lives, but oh well. I don't see how it ended up in that barrel though, but whatever. Yeah, Audacity, I can save it to an actual like MP3 file, which is great. But for some reason, I don't know if it's like another plugin that I need or what, but I can't save projects. But that's fine because it's never been an issue before, so I typically don't save the product, you know, the projects at all. I just, you know, save as the MP3 file and call it a day. So, but I don't save the actual like recording or anything like that. on Audacity itself, I guess you could say. So that's fun. So I basically had no way to go back to the actual recording, but when I saved it, and it was fine on Audacity. I could see it, you know, it was fine, whatever. But for whatever reason, when I saved it, it saved as, like, just nothing but, like, screeching noise. And I'm like, well, I don't think I can release this. That might be a tough sell for people here. Yeah. So I ended up not saving it. I don't know why I always take a hit on this boss. I just think that one weird hit. It's also weird to me, and I always found this weird as a kid, that his eyelids rose up when he like take a hit. His eyelids would like pop upwards. And I get that it's kind of like a popping out animation, like a Saturday morning cartoon style, but like, why the eyelids? And the worst part is now that I'm older, I realize that some of the Kremlings do that too. Oops, I missed the K. Oh well. At least I know where this bonus barrel is now. I didn't forget it the 20th time I've gone through this stage. Jeez Louise. Oh man. Apologize for yawning, guys. Sure, that was a thing that worked. Oh man. Do you guys see that? Somehow I landed on the door frame itself and managed to bust it open without the barrel. That's why I got quiet, because I knew it was going to happen, but obviously I'm recording this afterwards, but that is like such a weird glitch. Hey, I actually won this time around. You can tell I'm serious now. you can tell I'm in it to win it. I'm crushing it. Yeah. In fact, I think I 100% this entire stage in like one try now. Oh, I apologize for yawning, man. I feel kind of robbed on that one, but oh well. That was a bit of a closer call than I probably should have had, but... I even take him out safely. Yeah, this is me wide awake and like ready to go, guys. This is how I actually normally play. I even just managed to get an extra life or two. Not bad. Bam. Take out the birds. And off to the next level, yeah. One shot. Not bad. Not bad at all, compared to what I was playing as, which was just awful. At least I need to get to the next save point, right? Come on now. I even beat this minigame. Although I did cut it close on that last one. A little overly confident, but it's fine. It's fine. Oh, man. You guys are probably thinking, you're like, well, Sauron, if it's so early for you, what time do you wake up? And the answer is that I wake up at like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, it's not afternoon, it's morning, technically speaking, but I wake up at 11, and I'm usually not like up and about until like 12:30. It used to be that I would immediately head off to work and go on a walk, but it's been so hot, and the hot... Dang it, I still get caught by that every time. But, yeah, I had a walk the other day, and it didn't end well, so that was still awful timing. Jeez Louise. It didn't end well for me because of all the heat. So I am kind of... I haven't been walking, which is probably not good for my health, but whatever. Yeah. So what I've decided to do was just kind of record instead of immediately going on my walk or getting, you know, water, because that's something I normally do as well, is immediately go get something to drink, because holy crud. You get parched. A lot of people think that they're tired because, you know, like, oh man, I slept for 12 hours. Why am I still tired afterwards? Did you drink water before you went to bed? Did you drink anything before you went to bed? I wonder why you're tired. You're dehydrating is the problem. Like, you'd be surprised at what dehydration will actually do to you, but being tired is part of that whole thing. I hate the timing on this one too, but there we go. I do manage to do it. You know, it's amazing how tense these these blast barrel things are. Like, if you get one of those items in Smash Brothers, oh my gosh, it's like the worst thing ever. Now, I do have Funky Kong. I have access to Funky Kong. And I could go all the way back to, like, a save for Candy. But I've got 8 lives still. I'm doing way better than I did last time. So I opt to kind of just press on and try and figure out where some of the bonus barrels are in this level. This level does take me a couple tries, but I do manage to do it without gaming over, and I do manage to do it without using Funky Kong. The next save barrel I use is the one up ahead, so there's that. So My Hero Academia ended. What are we talking about now? My Hero Academia ended very recently. I think it's done in Japan. You get to see all the characters as adults and they're pro heroes. It's like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, I'm pausing for a long time. This might be when this spider popped out from behind the TV. We have like a mass of keychains because we collect keychains. And we collect a lot of different things, but keychains is one of the things we collect. And unfortunately, the spider decided the mass of keychains was a great hiding spot. So I was trying to get it. Didn't work. Like I said, spiders, good for the environment, but this was a wolf spider. They have a tendency to roam, and a roaming spider and arachnophobia is just not a good combination. And it's not just me either. I have arachnophobia, absolutely, but my fiance has worse arachnophobia, so I have to take them out regardless. I'm sorry. Sometimes if they're like in a web, like an orb weaver, if it's not a poisonous orb weaver, we might leave it alone if it's like way out of place. We had an orb weaver in the room, and a wolf spider came in and ate it. So that was kind of interesting. Like, oh crap. Doggy dog world out there in our bedroom. It's fun. But yeah, no, we were using the orb weaver to kind of deal with some of the other bugs. I have an air conditioner in the window, but I didn't patch it up as readily as I could have, I guess you could say. So what happened was bugs were getting in, and with the little orb weaver, like, oh, okay, the orb weaver is going to help us out, you know. Yeah, it was a small one. So we're like, okay, you know, it was in a place that we couldn't readily reach. Okay, you know. And I saw a wolf spider up on the ceiling at one point in time. And I looked over and the web was just gone. And I was like, oh no, he got eaten by the wolf spider. Because that's where the wolf spider was coming from, was from that web. And I was like, that's kind of weird. The wolf spider be coming from another spider's web, right? And you know, I didn't think about it at first. And then realizing our little orb weaver was gone and most likely dead, it was like, oh boy, that's rough. I sometimes forget spiders will eat other spiders. They are cannibalistic in a certain way. So there's a really hard to see bonus barrel here. Yeah. If you know to look for it, it's not bad to find. But, like, you have to know it's going to be there to even remotely see it. That'd be like the biggest issue, in my opinion, of that bonus room, is that you have to almost already know that it's there. This one is a pain, too. Yeah, I just messed up. Literally just messed up. What a drag. And of course, you know, things don't respawn in this game, so once you mess up that barrel throw, it's all said and done. Like, oh man. So I opted to finish the level so I don't lose an extra life. I was kind of hoping Candy's save thing would be, you know, ready, but it's not. I got another level to deal with. So I have to do this level again. Mostly just to get to the end. I mess up this K jump a couple of times for whatever reason. So there's a weird thing, and I swear I've only had this issue on the Switch. But, like, Donkey Kong, you play it, you hold down the run button. But if you press the run button, you do that rolling attack that I just did. Yeah, that one. Okay, that one was my fault. That last one was my fault. But every so often, you know, there's a technique where you can kind of roll off the edge and then jump. And for some reason, it doesn't work readily on the Switch, and I don't know what's up with that, but like I end up having like the hardest time. Like that time it worked, but then I didn't nail the jump, so I eventually give up. But yeah, for some reason I have like the hardest time getting that roll jump to work on certain ledges. And I don't know if it's because, like, again, frame rates. I'm sure the Switch can run at a higher frame rate and resolution than the Super Nintendo can. So maybe what's happening is that despite the fact that I'm letting go of the run button, the game doesn't fully register that I've let go of the run button, if that makes sense. And I think what's happening is I run to the edge and let go of the button and then press it again, and then it doesn't work. So I think that's what's happening, but it's annoying nonetheless. Probably one of the few issues I have had with the Switch port of any of the Super Nintendo games. That's probably why Diddy Kong Racing isn't on the Switch as of yet. Because, again, you have to emulate the frame rate of the actual N64 hardware, or else WizPig becomes near impossible to beat. So, that's probably why we haven't seen a re-release of Diddy Kong Racing, at least the original version of it. We have seen the DS version of it. And when I do my video of Diddy Kong Racing, I don't know if it's going to be ready next week or the week after, but when I do my video of Diddy Kong Racing, that's going to be one of the things I talk about is the DS version. And why, you know, my experience with the emulation, of course. I'll bring it up, I suppose. But, there goes that bonus barrel again. What's that? You didn't see it? Ah, it's a shame. Here's the tough part. Actually getting this barrel, yeah, through these guys without breaking it is actually really rough. It's easier to do with Diddy, but the only reason I took the L, though, the only reason I died is because I wanted to start at the continue barrel rather than, like, going all the way to from the beginning. Just to get that one bonus. Like, it's cool if you find it without dying, but actually having to, like, hunt it down. This game becomes a beast. A different beast entirely. Worst part is I'm only in, like, what, World 3, Stage 3, whatever you want to call it. Level Pack 3. It's a bit of an issue when I'm already having this hard of a time dealing with some of this crap. At least I got my life back. I'm good at dodging crap, though. That's cool. The worst part is, I'm kind of afraid that the barrel will despawn. And it's possible it won't, but like, given the fact that the opening to one of the bonus rooms despawned when I off-screened it just a little bit, yeah, I'm kind of worried about that kind of crap, because there's no consistency there. But I managed to get it this time around. Haha, success. Bit of a unique bonus room too, but not bad. I don't mind it. Just a way to get a decent chunk of bananas. And an Ungard statue. Which bumps me into the bonus room. Alright, we're playing Ungard today. I like Ungard. Rambi's probably my favorite animal buddy in the original game here. But Ungard is pretty damn good, all things considered. He makes water sections a lot easier to deal with, for sure. Plus, his bonus stage is really nice, because it's actually really easy to, build up a lot of tokens. Basically, each token, if you build up like 100 of them, you end up with a life. So I got 200 right there. That's 2 lives. That's not bad. But in every one of these, it's near impossible to get with Rambi, but in every one of these, there's a way to duplicate that. So I almost have 300. And then I find the big totem, which doubles that score. And now I have 592. Now it's a race to get to 600, which I did. That's 6 lives right there. Which I believe is 14? Yeah, 14. So, that's awesome. Gotta go deal with the rest of the levels, though, because I got one level before Candy opens up her store. So I gotta get to that one level. I'm probably looking up a guide at this point, but I have plenty of lives, so it's not that big of a deal. You can see the banana horde is up on that island in the background there, and that's where the boss fight is. I don't get to the boss fight today, guys, but I do get pretty close. I think I'm like one level and then the boss fight. But, yeah. I do 100% all the other levels at this point, so I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. Got a Rambi token. That'll come into play later. But Rambi's bonus stage is like the worst one. The timer's like really fast on it for some reason, and I don't know why, but nice. Just banging all these vultures. Again, it's funny because like, and I do think the vultures show up beforehand, but like you don't see them very often. And then this level has like a ton of them. So what's the boss fight? A giant bee. Like, what? Come on now. Giant bee, yep. The Neckie fight happens on the second level instead. So that's fun. Man, Espresso really helps you speedrun this level, though. It's insane how quick this ostrich actually runs. Unfortunately, I lose her here because I don't really want to take the hit. So, sorry, Espresso. I guess you're just left behind. I need to hit this bonus stage anyway. Clap. it's like different every time, but there is a version of Claptrap in all the Donkey Kong Country games. At least the original 3 from the Super Nintendo era. Because here you got the tiny little Claptrap. You know, no big deal. It's got a big mouth, whatever. Oop, I got another Rambi token. Nice. Here's the Rambi level. Yeah. Like, getting up to there is really hard. But, like, getting a bunch of tokens and then getting up there is... or totems and getting back up there is even harder, so... Look at that timer. I'm like, I'm not even keeping up with that. Come on now. Like, for some reason, the timer runs really fast on the Rambi level. And then it's the hardest one to get to the multiplier one, too. So, that's fun. That's fair. Yeah, sure. I do like Rambi as an animal buddy, though. Like I said, he's clearly the best one in this particular area because, dang. But anyway, I was talking about Claptrap. There's, like, Claptrap has, like, 3 different variations that show up in these games. You got the original Claptrap, which has, you know, a couple color variations. That's all cool and everything. Then you got the, it's like a black and red one. Probably the coolest looking one, too. From the, just off-screen that wheel. Probably the coolest looking one, too, is from the second game. And then you got the third game that has, like, the purple one that moves a lot faster. That one's okay. I don't mind that one too much, but... of course, OG Claptrap is where people are most nostalgic for it. That version of Claptrap did reappear in both Smash Brothers and Donkey Kong 64. So, there's that. This level is where we end. Not yet, of course. I got, like, quite a few minutes left on the video. But this is where we run into some problems. And I decided to go with this level because I'm like, oh, you know, the other levels didn't take me too awfully long to get through. This level shouldn't take me too awfully long to get through. I kind of wanted to get to that hour-long, you know, thing. And, you know, get another level done, maybe 2. That'd have been fun. Get right up to the boss fight. That'd have been cool. No, this level sucks. This level's, like, the worst to try and get 100% on. And if you know what you're doing on each of them, it's not terrible, but... I think that spider reappeared, by the way. That's why I'm, like, just frozen here. But, no, if you know exactly what you're doing... You could get it in like 1, maybe 2 tries. But, yeah. This level sucks. Especially if you don't know how to get any of the bonus stages. I rarely ever found any of the bonus stages in this level at all. I don't think I ever did. As a kid or otherwise. Because they're all, like, stupidly obtuse to get to. Yeah, this stage is the worst to try and actually 100%. In my opinion, anyway. Here goes Claptraps. Take care of all those guys. And I just, you know, died for no reason. I could have made that jump, but opted to get the K instead and lose all my momentum. It's great. It's great. And this barrel, like, it's hidden and everything like that. It doesn't really do much anything. Like, you don't need it to unlock any secrets or nothing like that. I apologize for the scratching sound up behind the microphone. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. But the cat decided to use her litter box, so that's fun. If you ever owned a cat, you know that sometimes they just like to dig around in the litter box for no reason at all. That was just stupid on my part. Absolutely stupid. I could have easily dodged that guy if I was paying attention. But I was kind of looking at Donkey Kong run away instead of actually Diddy Kong, so that's fun. But what I need to do, and this is what I'm reading, trying to understand, is I need to get espresso. The problem with me reading is I have ADHD, and when I read, I don't read like the full, like, brick of text oftentimes. I'll have a tendency to skim it and not be able to really focus hard enough to actually read the whole damn thing. So yeah, I'm basically skimming the text and not actually fully reading it like I should be. So I got the K. That means nothing. I don't know why I'm pausing again. Maybe now the spider resurfaced. I don't know. But, because the spider, like I said, got lost in the mess of keychains. It eventually came back out, and that's when I eventually was able to slay the beast. But, yeah, whatever the reason is, I'm taking quite a while to deal with said situations, so. But no, yeah, it's a mess. Find something else to talk about. Hey, did you guys hear Robert Downey Jr. is back as Doom? That's interesting. There's a lot of people who are not happy with it. There's a lot of people who are excited about it. And there's people like me who's just kind of in the middle. I guess somebody online was complaining that Robert Downey Jr. wasn't like that. They were like, you didn't get Doom's ethnicity right and blah blah blah. And I'm like, Doom was technically white, wasn't he? Like, he's Latvian, so he's probably gonna have a bit of a darker complexion, like the Romanian style complexion, you know. But like for the most part, that's still kind of Caucasian, isn't it? Like, maybe I'm ignorant, but I don't know. Like, that'd be like saying Italians aren't Caucasian. Like, what? What do you mean? But yeah, so there's a lot of interesting issues going on with Downey playing Doom. Look, Doom has been Iron Man in the past. And honestly, variant displacements of Tony Stark, or even like kids of Tony Stark, have been quote-unquote Kang the Conqueror in the past. So, I don't know, just having like a time-displaced variant of Tony Stark as Doom is not the craziest thing in the world. This is where you learn all the names of the animal buddies, by the way. This bonus stage is a bit obtuse, but like the reward is really cool. Like, you get at least one token of every animal buddy. That's awesome. Assuming you haven't gotten 3 of any of them quite yet, because if you do that, it'd probably bump you out of the bonus stage. Yeah. Unguard. And Espresso. Which is where we actually end up with 3. 3 Espresso tokens. Although Espresso is really easy to gain lives on. Dog. Seriously. The dog is snoring in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but man, she's loud. She's part pug, part pit, for those of you wondering. And yeah, if she lays in a weird way, she will snore. And she is not shy about it either. She will absolutely snore really loudly. But yeah, I don't know. Robert Downey Jr. being back, he's a great actor, honestly. I have no problem with him being back. I have no problem with him playing a villainous version of Tony Stark. A lot of people actually wanted Superior Iron Man back. So, like, Superior Iron Man would basically... He was kind of like Doctor Doom in a way, when he became the quote-unquote Superior Iron Man, because he kept that villainous persona. And so, Robert being a villainous Iron Man is not all that shocking to me at all, realistically. But instead of Superior Iron Man, they just went with Doom. Well, what they're probably going to do is probably mix both, like, versions of it, so to speak, you know, where it's like Doctor Doom, but it's also like a villainous version of Iron Man. Maybe he bought the country Latveria because he felt, you know, like, oh man, You got Black Panther who, you know, has a country. I need to have a country too, and then he becomes evil and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know. It's not a bad idea, but there were other actors who would play an absolute fantastic version of Doom. My friend was actually suggesting, what's his name, Michael Fassbender or something like that. He's the one who played Magneto for a while. He was Cat. Seriously, stop being bad over there. Sorry, the cat's digging at the door. But no, Michael would honestly make a fantastic Doctor Doom. And I say this because he made a fantastic Magneto. Like, he was so good at Magneto. But him playing Doom would also be really good. But at the same time, he already played Magneto. Like, that'd be almost like the same role, almost. Not exactly the same role, because Magneto and Doom are drastically different characters with different motivations. But, like, they're still world-conquering villains at the same time. So, I mean, I don't know. It'd be maybe too similar of a role. That's my opinion anyway. But Robert, going from superhero to supervillain, ought to be interesting. And I think part of the reason he agreed to do this is, one, they cut him a fat check, because of course they did. And two, he's probably tired of people saying, like, well, you're basically Tony Stark. And he's like, no, I'm not. It's a character I'm playing. We have similarities, me and Tony Stark, but I'm not Tony Stark. He's not me. We're not... They could recast Tony and it'd be fine, you know. Like, he kind of gets annoyed with people comparing the two. Because he did absolutely do a fantastic Tony Stark. And there are some definite similarities with, you know, alcohol/drug use. But at the same time, it's a role. That's it. And, you know, you got to get the guy different roles inevitably, right? So, we finally found one of the other bonus stages in this area. And 3 out of the 5 bonus stages are just the tire thing, where you bounce on the tire, and then you bust open some, like, it's like buried treasure, I guess you could say. It's so weird. But no, back to Robert Downey. I'm sure he's tired of people just comparing him to Tony Stark. So that, and they're paying him quite a bit of money. A lot of people, though, say that they should have just kept Kang the Conqueror on there. And I'm kind of a mixed bag on that one too. Like, I don't know, because he was arrested. And a lot of people were like, well, the other actors in Marvel have done far worse. They've all done much worse than what I don't remember the guy's name, but the guy who played Kang. There, you know, a lot of people have argued that the other Marvel actors have been arrested and have done far worse. And I'm willing to agree with that. They have done far worse. There should be, you know, a certain level of forgiveness there. But at the same time, the crime that he supposedly committed was a lot more recent than anything that the other Marvel actors have been doing. Yes, they've all done stuff that are relatively bad, but they've also learned from their mistakes. You know, they've had time to learn from their mistakes, and they've, you know, built up from there. You know, they had to get back their careers and everything like that. So, like, I see it. I do understand where, like, people are coming from with that. But at the same time, like, again, some of those aren't as recent as the one that he's, you know, dealing with. So it's kind of a tit for tat kind of situation. I don't know. They could have just recast Kang as well. I mean, they could have just had, like, you know, a Kang variant, so to speak. They're like, why do you look so different? Because I am different, haha. No, but like, they could have done stuck with the Kang the Conqueror story for sure. But, I don't know. I don't mind him using Doom. I like Doom better as a villain than Kang as well. There's just no build-up to Doom. There was at least build-up to Ultron. Like, I saw kind of where they were going with that, because I did predict Ultron before he was a thing. And there was a build-up to Thanos, obviously. But, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't impressed with recent Marvel movies to begin with anyway. One of the bigger build-ups that they had to Kang was literally Ant-Man and Wasp. And I like the first two Ant-Man movies, I really do. But, if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, by the way, I threw the barrel at the other side of the tower, or the tire wall down there. The reason I did that is because the little guide thing that I'm reading says, it basically said, okay, you got the one on the left. Now the next bonus barrel is the same thing, but on the wall to the right of that particular gap. And while they weren't lying, per se, I also messed up on the last bonus stage, too. But while they weren't lying about the wall on the right of the gap, it's not inside the gap like the bonus stage on the left wall was. It's actually like outside the gap on the right stage. So that's why I kind of messed up there. But yeah, talking about Marvel. Oh boy, it's exhausting. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It might be a good movie. It might not be. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I didn't like the third one. It was kind of corny. And a lot of people are like, but the other two have humor in them too. And, you know, blah, 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 blah. I don't mind humor. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have no problem with, like, humor in the Marvel movies at all. That's not the issue by any means. You know, it's the same with She-Hulk. That's not necessarily the issue that I have. The issue is that the humor is not good, in my opinion. It doesn't come off as feeling natural. Like, the whole movie felt like it was humorous for the sake of being humorous, whereas a lot of comedy movies that I like are they feel like a natural, like, relatable form of comedy. And a lot of the other, you know, a lot of the Marvel humor, quote unquote, in recent years just has not come off as feeling natural at all. You know, it's a joke, and it's like, okay, you know, that was a fine setup for a joke, I guess, you know. But, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel natural. Like, if you watch Thor Ragnarok, that one kind of pushes the boundary a little bit with the humor. But, like, it still kind of feels natural, you know. Like, you see an ally, and you're like, yeah, all right. And suddenly the ally's beating the crap out of you, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's right, we're fighting to the death. I don't know what the heck I was thinking of. You know, again, it kind of pushed it, but it still felt natural enough, I guess you could say, to kind of, what is the, you can see I'm trying to, like, do the roll and then jump, and it just didn't work there. I'm trying to think of the terminology that they use. Suspense of disbelief, I guess you could say. Thor, Love and Thunder, the newer Ant-Man movie, She-Hulk. The suspension of disbelief didn't work there. And it gets to the point where the humor becomes a bit more uncanny than it needs to be, if that makes sense. Like, the humor just doesn't work well in those particular movies. Now, given there's plenty of movies. Suddenly I'm just having a hard time with the stage. There's plenty of movies out there that have comedy, and it's kind of outrageous how the comedy works, but it's written cleverly enough to where there's still a suspension of disbelief. Or the character's already known for the comedic role to begin with anyway. Like, you take Deadpool, a character that's known for that comedic effect. Your suspension of disbelief is already kind of high to begin with because, yeah, it's Deadpool. It's going to get crazy regardless. But when you're, you know, talking to characters like Thor, Ant-Man, blah, 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 Ant-Man, you kind of expect humor. But what they were doing on the microverse thing was so out there that it was like, what is this? Like, I don't know. It was a weird situation. She-Hulk, while yes, she does break the fourth wall, she never did it in a way that was like completely comedy. There was humorous moments in She-Hulk, absolutely. But I don't know, the way they did it was, you know, was just all look at this funny quip. Yeah, like the writing was bound around the funny quip. Whereas, I don't know, it didn't sit well with me. What other movie had that kind of situation? Captain Marvel kind of had situations like that where, I don't know, it just felt like the whole purpose of the movie was to, you know, show how awesome and cool Captain Marvel was without actually having a really good story to back it up with. Like, her entire thing was, you know, about controlling emotions and blah, blah, blah. And then she was more powerful when she cut loose and this and that. And that can be an interesting message if you do it right. But there are situations where emotional control is an important thing. There are situations where cutting loose is a very important thing. And finding a balance between the two is actually probably what's more important in that particular situation. So that was kind of a weird movie, so to speak. Whereas, compare it with the Black Widow movie. The Black Widow movie, it had humor. It had that awkward dad. That guy leapt out of nowhere and attacked me. What the hell? It had that awkward dad character. And that's relatable. Because, you know, you get that sometimes. You get those over-the-top personalities. And yeah, he's supposed to be doing, like, covert stuff, but obviously he didn't. That's why he's arrested. That's why they had to go get him out of prison. Because he's kind of stupid. But he is powerful nonetheless. You know, he's got his powers and everything going for him. That particular character works as a comedic role. That whole family dynamic that Black Widow had worked as a comedic role because family is very relatable. But that wasn't the whole purpose of the story either, was to show that, look, Black Widow has this quirky family, blah, blah, blah. No, she's gathering a team of people she can trust that aren't the Avengers, because she doesn't have the Avengers at the moment, to go tackle this one situation. And it's a situation that's very, like, personal for her. Absolutely. So there's a lot of growth. And it worked. Black Widow was an amazing movie. I wouldn't say it's like the best thing ever, but it worked really well. I had a lot of enjoyment watching that movie. So, I don't know. Comedy for the sake of comedy, it kind of depends on the situation. Meet the Parents was crazy. None of the humor felt natural in that one. But it was relatable. But that's also a comedic movie. That was kind of like the whole point of the movie itself, was it was comedic. So, I don't know. It kind of depends on the character, I suppose, too. But, like, context and theming and whatnot does help quite a bit. I can't move because the cat's on my foot. Ah, she's a cute cat. Little terror every so often, but a cute cat. If you notice, I threw the barrel towards the left this time instead of the right. Do you guys see what happened there? I kind of glazed over it because I was busy talking, but what you're supposed to do is you got to get this monkey guy to start throwing barrels opposite so you can hit that stupid wall. That's very annoying because it is so easy to kill him. The original time, the time before this that I tried, I accidentally threw that barrel towards the right and it just killed him on accident, like off-screened him. So, but I'm wrapping up. Thanks guys for talking with me. We will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.